Hello, welcome back to This, That, and the Other. Today in history, July the 16th, 1945, at 5:29 and 45 seconds in the morning, the Manhattan Project yields explosive results as the first atomic bomb is successfully tested in Alamogordo, New Mexico. Plans for the creation of a uranium bomb by the Allies were established as early as 1939 when Italian immigrant physicist Enrico Fermi met with U.S. Navy Department officials at Columbia University to discuss the use of fissionable material for military purposes. That same year, Albert Einstein signed a letter to President Franklin Roosevelt supporting the theory that an uncontrolled nuclear chain reaction had great potential as a basis for a weapon of mass destruction. In February 1940, the federal government granted a total of $6,000 for research, but in early 1942, with the United States now at war with Axis powers and fear mounting that Germany was working on its own uranium bomb, the War Department took a more active interest, and limits on resources for the project were removed. Brigadier General Leslie R. Groves, himself an engineer, was now in complete charge of a project to assemble the greatest minds in science and discover how to harness the power of the atom as a means of bringing the war to decisive end. The Manhattan Project, so called because of where the research began, would wind its way through many locations during the early period of the theoretical exploration. Most importantly, the University of Chicago, where Enrico Fermi successfully set off the first fission chain reaction, but the project took final form in the desert of New Mexico, where in 1943 Robert J. Oppenheimer began directing Project Y at a laboratory at Los Alamos, along with such minds as Hans Bethe, Edward Teller, and Fermi. Here, theory and practice came together as the problems of achieving critical mass, a nuclear explosion, and the construction of a deliverable bomb were worked out. Finally, on the morning of July the 16th in New Mexico desert, 120 miles south of Santa Fe, the first atomic bomb was detonated. The scientists and a few dignitaries had removed themselves 10,000 yards away to observe as the first mushroom cloud of searing light stretched 40,000 feet into the air and generated the destructive power of 15,000 to 20,000 tons of TNT. The tower on which the bomb sat when detonated was vaporized. The question now became on whom was the bomb to be dropped. Germany was the original target, but the Germans had already surrendered. The only delegate remaining was Japan. Also on this day in history, in 1995, Amazon opens for business. In 1999, JFK Jr. is killed in a plane crash. In 1769, hang on, sorry. In 1769, the first Catholic mission in California is dedicated. I'm sorry again, I misread that. 1769, the first Catholic mission in California is dedicated. In In 1969, the Apollo 11 departs Earth. In 1935, the world's first parking meter is installed. In 1790, Congress declares Washington, D.C. its new capital. In 2002, President Bush unveils strategy for Homeland Security. In 1951, Catcher in the Rye is published. In 1990, earthquake wreaks havoc in the Philippines. In 1979, Jeffrey McDonald is accused of stabbing his family to death. In 1863, draft riots continue to rock New York City. In 1779, Anthony Wayne launches risky attack against British forces. And in 1918, Romanov family is executed, ending a 300-year imperial dynasty. This has been This Day in History, and we'll see you all next time. Until then, remember, always forward, never back.